In the context of modern behavioral economics and applied psychology, dark psychology is not merely a description of deviant behaviors, but is defined as a system of psychological strategies designed to exploit cognitive biases and emotional drivers to achieve personal gain, often financial or power-related. Unlike ethical persuasion based on transparency and mutual benefit, win-win, dark psychology focuses on manipulating perception to restructure the target's reality, influencing them to make decisions beneficial to the manipulator, sometimes contrary to their own interests. The core foundation of this field revolves around the Dark Triad, a personality construct comprising three main components closely correlated with financial attraction and advancement in highly competitive environments. 1. Machiavellianism, characterized by cold strategic thinking, the ability to delay moral gratification for long-term goals, and the view that the end justifies the means. Individuals with high Machiavellianism often excel at navigating loose organizational structures using strategic deception and forming temporary alliances to maximize profit. 2. Narcissism, manifested through a sense of entitlement, a need for admiration, and excessive self-confidence. In business, this trait is often linked to exceptional sales ability and the capacity to create a reality distortion field to persuade investors to fund high-risk projects. 3. Psychopathy, characterized by a lack of empathy and remorse, along with high-risk tolerance. In finance, this trait allows individuals to make ruthless investment decisions or staff cuts without being burdened by emotional weight. Empirical studies indicate a complex but tangible relationship between dark triad traits and financial success. While often socially condemned, these traits can create competitive advantages in specific business environments. Research suggests that individuals with high narcissism scores often command higher salaries, while those with high Machiavellianism frequently hold leadership positions and report higher career satisfaction. However, this relationship is not linear. Success often depends on the organizational context. In tightly structured and monitored environments, manipulative behaviors may be detected and penalized. Conversely, in ambiguous, volatile, or unregulated environments, such as crypto markets or early-stage startups, manipulators can maximize their chameleon abilities to acquire resources. Attracting money in the digital age relies not only on direct sales skills, but also on designing automated systems to exploit user psychological blind spots, known as dark patterns in UX design, false scarcity, and manufactured urgency. The scarcity principle is one of the most powerful drivers of purchasing behavior, rooted in FOMO, fear of missing out. Marketers using dark psychology do not just report actual scarcity, but actively create false scarcity to bypass the brain's critical thinking mechanisms. Countdown timers. E-commerce platforms often display countdown clocks for today-only offers. In many cases, these timers automatically reset when the user reloads the page. This creates artificial time pressure, forcing customers to decide based on emotions, System 1, rather than logic, System 2. Phantom inventory, displaying notifications like only 2 rooms leaving at this price, or 15 people are viewing this product. Algorithms are sometimes programmed to show random numbers to stimulate competitive and possessive instincts even when inventory is abundant. Roach Motel tactics and forced continuity. One of the most ruthless applications in the subscription economy is the Roach Motel technique. Easy to check in, difficult to check out. Asymmetric friction. The sign-up process is designed to be seamless, one-click sign-up, while cancellation is laden with artificial barriers, requiring phone calls during business hours, navigating multiple confirmation pages, or hiding the cancel button deep within sub-menus. Forced continuity. Users are invited to a free trial but must provide credit card details. When the trial ends, the system automatically converts to a paid subscription without a clear reminder. This exploits human forgetfulness and inertia to generate passive income from customers who no longer have a genuine need. Beyond digital techniques, dark psychology is powerfully applied in interpersonal interactions to close deals and negotiate contracts. Proximity psychology and warm water strategy. Contrary to hunting via cold calling, master salespeople use proximity psychology or the warm water strategy. Mere exposure effect. Humans tend to trust and prefer what they see frequently. Constant presence in a client's space, physical or online, without immediate selling, helps relax the amygdala, the brain's fear center. Once familiarity is established, defensive barriers lower, fostering natural trust. Readiness. Recognition. Instead of trying to manufacture need, the salesperson observes and identifies readiness signals from a client's complaints or difficulties. When trust exists, due to exposure, offering a solution at the exact moment of pain is perceived as a rescue rather than a sales pitch. Sequential request strategies. Foot in the door and door in the face. These techniques exploit the principle of consistency and reciprocal concessions to increase compliance in financial transactions. Foot in the door, FITD. Starting with a small, harmless request that is hard to refuse, e.g., "Can you spare 1 minute for a survey?" Once agreed, the target views themselves as cooperative. To maintain self-consistency, they are more likely to agree to a larger subsequent request, buying a product, signing a contract. Door in the face, DITF. Conversely, this starts with an extremely large, unreasonable request that will certainly be rejected. Immediately after rejection, the negotiator offers a smaller request, the actual target. Social pressure regarding reciprocal concessions makes the target feel obliged to reciprocate the concession by agreeing to the second offer. The Benjamin Franklin effect. The paradox of liking. A subtle tactic to build rapport with difficult partners is the Ben Franklin effect. Instead of doing a favor for them, the practitioner asks them for a small favor. Mechanism. This triggers cognitive dissonance. The target's brain rationalizes the act of helping. I helped him, so I must like or respect him. Application. In sales, asking a client for their expert opinion or advice not only gathers information, but also invests the client emotionally in the seller, increasing the likelihood of closing. Gaslighting and business negotiation. Gaslighting is a formidable weapon in corporate negotiations to undermine an opponent's position. Denial of reality. Negotiators may adamantly deny prior verbal agreements. "I never agreed to that discount," "You're misremembering," or question the opponent's competence. "Are you sure you understand the figures? You seem confused." Common phrases. "You're overreacting." "Don't let emotions drive business." "I'm only trying to help you." The goal is to make the opponent doubt their own judgment and eventually rely on the reality painted by the manipulator. Constructing power and status, signaling theory, and fake it till you make it. In the financial world, perception of status is often more critical than actual financial reality. Dark psychology studies how to manipulate these signals to attract capital. Signaling theory and luxury beliefs. Signaling theory explains how individuals use costly signals to demonstrate hidden qualities: wealth, intelligence. Evolution of signals. Previously, luxury goods were primary signals. As material goods become more accessible, elites shift to luxury beliefs. Luxury beliefs as class indicators. These are social or political views that only the upper class can afford to hold, while the lower class pays a price for adopting them. Expressing these beliefs becomes a subtle signal of educational pedigree and financial security, attracting trust from investors of the same tier. Fake it till you make it. Case studies: Holmes, Delvey, Madoff. Silicon Valley's mantra, "Fake it till you make it," walks a fine line between psychological strategy and criminal fraud. Elizabeth Holmes, Theranos. Holmes created a reality distortion field. She lowered her voice to project authority. Deep voices correlate with dominance, and maintained unblinking eye contact to intimidate and seduce. Combined with a culture of extreme secrecy, she manipulated seasoned investors into funding non-existent technology. Anna Delvey, Sorokin. Anna manipulated New York's elite through arrogance and disregard for money. She understood that fussing over costs is a sign of poverty. By acting as if money was irrelevant, tipping lavishly and maintaining a cold demeanor, she signaled the status of a wealthy heiress, triggering the halo effect that bypassed standard credit checks. Bernie Madoff. Madoff used reverse scarcity. He often rejected new investors, framing his fund as an exclusive club. This triggered greed and the need for belonging among the ultra-wealthy, causing them to beg to give him their money. Defensive measures and building psychological antibodies. Understanding dark psychology is the first step in self-defense against financial manipulation. Red flags. Checklist. 1. Signs. Unrealistic profit promises. Specific manifestations. The perpetrator often makes promises such as 30% monthly interest or guaranteed risk-free investment. Psychological mechanism. This tactic directly targets the victim's greed and lack of financial literacy. 2. Signs. Time pressure. Specific manifestations. Using urgent phrases such as "only 2 spots left" or "money must be transferred within 1 hour." Psychological mechanism. The goal is to shut down critical thinking, System 2, in the brain and activate fear at the amygdala. 3. Signs. Exclusive secrets. Specific manifestations. Emphasizing that this is an internal opportunity or requiring "do not share with outsiders." Psychological mechanism. Creates a sense of exclusivity for the victim, while preventing them from verifying information from external sources. 4. Signs. Love bombing. Specific manifestations. Constantly flattering the investor, giving gifts upon first meeting. Psychological mechanism. Creates a feeling of debt and emotional dependence. 5. Signs. Using technical jargon. Technobabble. Specific manifestations. Using complex, difficult to understand, and seemingly sophisticated terminology to describe the business model.
Psychological mechanism overwhelms the victim, making them hesitant to ask questions for fear of being perceived as uninformed. Emotional detachment. In business, emotion is the enemy of reason. Practicing emotional detachment neutralizes manipulation. Observation technique. When feeling pressure, fear, or extreme excitement, pause and observe the emotion as a third party. Ask, why do I feel this urgency? Who is manufacturing this feeling? Value. Process over outcome. Focus on the logic of the decision rather than the vision of profit. Manipulators sell the result, get rich quick, to hide the process. Risk fraud. Transformation. From manipulation to ethical persuasion. Long-term research shows that while Machiavellian tactics yield short-term gains, sustainable wealth comes from cooperation and reputation. Win-win. Instead of a zero-sum game, seek solutions where both parties benefit. This builds social capital, the most valuable long-term business asset. Transparent persuasion. Use psychological principles, like social proof, genuine scarcity, honestly to help clients make the best decision for them, not just for you. Finally, conclusion. Dark psychology is a sharp, double-edged sword in the financial world. It offers a stark lens to understand the deepest drivers of human behavior: greed, fear, the need for validation, and cognitive laziness. For those seeking prosperity, studying these mechanisms is vital, not necessarily to become a manipulator, but to become a wise player. Identifying Roach Motels in contracts and keeping a cool head amidst chicken-herding schemes are essential survival skills. The line between a brilliant entrepreneur and a con artist often lies in intent and transparency. Mastering dark psychology, therefore, is not just about arming oneself to attack the market, but about building the strongest shield to protect the fruits of one's labor.